The NFL playoffs are sizzling, and it's heating up the football card market. But there's some cards from other sports that are going up too. We'll tell you which ones in today's Top 5 Cards.
My name is Geoff Wilson. By day, I invest in tech companies, and at night, I invest in sports cards. Join me and my team as we help you profit from the hobby we all love.
Hello, sports card investors, and welcome to another Top 5 Tuesday. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you were able to catch a lot of the NFL playoff action. Man, that 49ers Cowboys game, that was something that made the whole weekend worth it. A lot of the other games were, well, not the closest, but that one I really enjoyed. Hopefully you got a chance to see that as well. And hopefully you have some of the cards that we're going to be talking about in today's episode, because there's some football cards going up and there's some cards going up from other sports as well. And we're going to jump in, but before we do, let me remind you about our grading service here at Sports Card Investor, because our grading service is as hot right now as the card market. We are getting incredible deals and return times from PSA, SGC. We also offer BGS and CSG grading. If you submit direct through our grading service, you're gonna oftentimes get better pricing, you're gonna get your cards back faster in some cases, and you are going to get free pre-screening. So we'll actually take a look at your cards and let you know if we think they are grade worthy. Check it all out by going to sportscardinvestor.com and click grading in the main menu bar. Again, sportscardinvestor.com, click grading in the main menu bar. Okay guys, it is time. Let's get to it. Let's talk about today's top 5 cards. In the number 5 spot today, a hometown boy here in Atlanta, back fresh from injury and looking good, DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre Hunter in that number 5 spot. He's gotten a boost recently, not just from coming back from injury, and of course he's had some injury problems over the last couple of seasons, but also the fact that Reddish recently was traded away from the Hawks has left some people thinking that Hunter might get a little more play time as a result. And when Hunter has been healthy, he's been really good. He's been averaging 12 points per game while shooting 42% from 3, and he's considered a really, really solid defender. But he's played in just 14 games so far this season. So those stats are from a very, very limited sample size this year. The question is now, is he going to be able to stay healthy? Can his presence help turn the Hawks season around and allow him to make another deep run into the playoffs? Only time will tell. But there are definitely some basketball card investors that are banking on that. And you can see here on the graph how Hunter's cards have been moving up over the course of the last 14 days. This is his Prism base card in PSA 10 condition. This was a card that was $16 2 weeks ago, actually sold for as little as $12 on eBay. Most recently, it went for as much as $25. Most recent sales in this card are right around $19. So that's a nice 16% increase over the last 2 weeks in his base Prism card. And let me look at his Prism Silver here as well in PSA 10. That one has actually been moving up a little bit more. That card is up 42, almost 43% over the course of the last 2 weeks. That was a card that was selling for around $70 2 weeks ago, selling for right at $100 today. In the number 4 spot, a young NFL QB who is really having his moment right now, Joe Burrow. And he is leading Cincinnati to places they haven't been in a long time. It has been 31 years since Cincinnati won its last playoff game until this past weekend. And Joe Burrow carried them on his back to an impressive playoff victory. Now, Burrow is no stranger to the top 5 cards this season. He has been on this list multiple times, but his cards continue to rise. And of course, his performance this past weekend is only going to help fuel that further. He had an incredible season, passing for over 4,600 yards, 34 touchdowns to 14 interceptions. And he is perhaps now looking like the star of that draft class. A lot of the focus over the last couple of years have been on Justin Herbert, but Joe Burrow is the last man standing, and he is playing really, really well. His cards have been popular, and look at this, guys. The last 30 days on your screen here of his 2020 Prism base card in PSA 10 condition, my goodness, look at the increase of this card. That's amazing. This card was $185 30 days ago. This card is now selling for well over $400, as much as $450. That's incredible. This card has well over doubled over the course of the last 30 days. And a lot of Joe Burrow's cards have been doing really, really well. But this Prism base card in particular, PSA 10, 124% increase in the last 30 days. Well deserved for Joe Burrow. But Joe Burrow isn't the only young quarterback who's been getting the attention of football card investors. Josh Allen's cards have been red hot as well. And for good reason. Josh Allen and the Bills dominated the Patriots this past weekend. And now we get the dream matchup that many of us have been waiting for. The showdown between Buffalo and the Kansas City Chiefs. It is going to be, in my opinion, absolute must-see TV. Allen has had another really, really nice season this year, passing it for over 4,400 yards, 36 touchdowns. And of course, Allen adds the extra dimension of being able to get it done on the ground as well. He rushed for over 700 yards this season and added another 6 touchdowns on the ground. His cards have been popular all year long, and they've been really going up recently. This is the last 30 days of his 2018 Prism base card in PSA 10. This card was selling for around $500, a little over $500 30 days ago. Actually went as low as $440 right before Christmas. Most recently, this card's up at over $600. So a nice little 17% increase on this card. But some of his other cards that are a little bit lower population have been doing even more impressive things. This is Josh Allen's 2018 Select Concourse card in PSA 10. Only a population of 277 on this card, because back in 2018, Select was only a hobby shop product, so a lot less of it was created compared to Prism and Optic and other sets. So only 277 pop count in PSA 10 here, and as a result of less supply plus increasing demand, this card's gone up even more than his Prism. This card was $127 30 days ago. This card most recently sold for $271, a 112% increase on Josh Allen's 2018 Select Concourse card in PSA 10. In the number 2 spot, we're going back to basketball, and we're going with the player who's been part of the big trade news recently, Cam Reddish. He went from Atlanta to New York, and his card prices went up along with him. You know, Reddish showed some really nice flashes of awesome potential when he was with the Hawks, but never had that consistency. And now basketball card investors are excited that he's going to get a fresh start with the Knicks, and maybe will be able to show more consistent performance on the court. He is, of course, being reunited with his former Duke teammate, RJ Barrett, and fans are hoping that maybe Zion at some point will come to New York as well and complete that trio from the Duke team a few years ago. It'll be interesting to see what he can do, but he certainly has all of the physical skills to be great. And just like how Reddish's trade from Atlanta to New York actually helped DeAndre Hunter's card prices, he was featured earlier in today's top 5, Reddish's card prices have gone up even more. And you can see here on the screen Reddish's 2019 Prism base card in PSA 10. This was a very inexpensive card, only about $19 7 days ago. And then, of course, the trade news occurs and the card goes all the way up to $42. Went from $19 to $42 once the trade news broke. That's what can happen in the sports card world when a big story like that occurs. Now, the prices have come back down a little bit since then. Most recent sales on this card are back down to around $29. Still, though, a 49% increase from where that card was just 7 days ago. If you look at his Prism Silver, similar type of story. The card shot up. This was a card that was $150 in PSA 10 condition. The trade news occurs. The card goes all the way up to $216. It is now back to $177, but still a nice increase on the back of the trade news. As we commonly see in the hobby, a big trade, a big free agent signing, or some other type of big event can cause a burst in card prices. The question now will be, can Cam Reddish sustain those price increases? Before we get to the number one card in today's list, let me remind you that all of the charts and graphs you're seeing are from Market Movers. And if you want to understand how the sports card market is moving and track your collection, then you need Market Movers. And you can get instant access by going to sportscardinvestor.com and clicking on Market Movers in the main menu bar. Okay, guys, here we go. It's time for the number one card, and there is no doubt that Ja Morant is deserving of the number one spot because his cards and his play has been hot as can be. You guys, of course, know Ja Morant is the point guard for the Memphis Grizzlies. He is in MVP contention. This guy has truly had an absolutely outstanding season. Part of the reason is because he has stayed healthy, which has been awesome to see from him, and he's putting up incredible production. He's averaging over 24 points per game, close to 7 assists per game. He's shooting 36% from three. And that improved three-point shooting is a big step forward for Morant. And he, of course, has done some absolutely incredible highlight reel plays that put him as the lead on SportsCenter some nights. And whenever that happens, it is good for a player's card prices. And you can see what I'm talking about here. We're going to look at a few different Ja Morant cards. I first brought up his Prism base card from 2019 in PSA 10 condition. Now, this is a very high population card. This is a card with a population of close to 20,000. So a very, very high population card. Population on that card's grown by about 1,000 over the course of the last 90 days. You can see here on our population growth chart in Market Movers. But that hasn't stopped it from going up. Even though there are so many of that card out there for sale, it's still, the demand right now for this card is still pushing up prices despite the supply. This was a card that was about $175 30 days ago. Some sales of this card for as low as $164. Most recently has been selling for right around $245, upwards of $250. A nice 40% increase in 30 days on a Prism base card with a high population. That shows how much demand there is for Ja Morant cards right now. That is awesome to see. Let's take a look at his Prism Silver card. This card was as little as $900. We had a sale of this card down at $900 the day before Christmas. By the way, day before Christmas, probably a really good time to buy cards and a really bad time to be setting your auctions to end because we're seeing a lot of really low auction prices that occurred on December 24th. So don't auction your cards on eBay the day before Christmas. But other than that one low sale, this was a card that was selling for around $1,200 to $1,300 30 days ago. Most recently, his Prism Silver PSA 10 has been selling for over $1,700. So that is a nice 30% increase on that card as well. And even some of his lower end cards have been doing really well. This is his 2019 Hoops base card in PSA 10. This card was selling for as low as $26 right before Christmas. Most recent sales on this card are around $58. So that's a pretty solid increase there. And then how about his Hoops Premium Stock base card in PSA 10, a little bit of a nicer version of that Hoops card. That card was as little as $32 right before Christmas Day, and it recently sold for as much as $95. Recent sales of that card, though, over the last couple of days have been down around $60, but still close to double what it was just before Christmas when it was down at $32. So pretty much no matter what Ja Morant card you have, you did really, really well over the course of the last month. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the top 5 for today. If you did, please give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell icon, and don't forget to check out our bulk submission grading service on Sports Card Investor, as well as Market Movers. We can get you great deals on your grading, and we can also help you understand the sports card market. Just go to sportscardinvestor.com, click on grading in the main menu bar for our grading service, and click on Market Movers in the main menu bar to learn more about Market Movers. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you back in a couple days with our next episode. Take care.